Morning after. We're back. Rick in the comments talking about D late again. Can't lie, it put a little fear in my heart, but he was here right
I
in
was
time.
right. I was right on time. Right
Right
on
on.
time.
Hey, not late. No disrespect to him. Rick. He hasn't been late again yet. Um, gonna be a fun one today. So, as all you guys know, not a very eventful slate last night, and we're gonna preview some of the big games for today, but Dion and I wanted to get in our Duffy a little bit, do something different. So we are going to do a live NBA lottery mock draft today, and then preview the games. We're both NBA guys. This will be a fun NBA college hybrid topic. But first, Dion, how was your Monday, man?
A long Monday, but we're good. We moved to the next. How was your Monday, bro?
It was good. Also, Pickle Rick, I don't understand why it's always cut off because I literally wait for the timer to start, and then it's weird. I don't know why it does that. It like puts a live thing in the top left. I don't know why it does that. I wait till it starts counting, but I'm just gonna um gaslight you and say that's you and not us.
I think it.
Um,
I think you gotta wait like 10 seconds after you click live.
10 seconds is just a wild delay time, but I'm gonna try it tomorrow and then watch. It's not gonna work, and we're just gonna be sitting there staring at the cameras for 10 seconds. Um, but yeah, I mean, first off, I feel like before we get into this, I feel like we kind of needed at least one good Monday game after how loaded that weekend was. I know that's why we didn't get a good Monday game, but it's such a letdown to to have the games we had over the weekend and then go into like a 6 game Monday slate or 7 game, whatever, with a bunch of mid major games. Wish we could have got at least one, man. But tonight's slate still like, oh man, we only get like 5 ranked games. It's brutal. It's gonna be a slow week for the morning after program. But all right, how do we want to go about doing the draft order here? Are we just gonna go from like worst record to
Well, for the just use Tankathon.
yeah? Because unfortunately, see, that's what just makes the NBA so interesting. It's like we can sit here and look at everything, but you just never know. The Mavericks will swoop in and get the number one pick. All right.
Tankathon has Dame Sar in the first round still.
All right. We will do. All right. I just simmed the lottery.
Pickle
So
Rick, you said, do you guys agree with G? Do you think Purdue can't play well without being the favorite? What was G's full quote on that?
I'm honestly, I'm honestly not even sure. Do you think Purdue can't play well without being the favorite? I don't know. I'd have to hear the whole thing. It sounds, it kind of sounds a little bit like, is he saying
He said they don't respond well mentally without being the favorite. Were they not the favorite against against Iowa State? Am I wrong on that one?
they had to have been? They were at home and they were
Yeah,
the
I think
number one
they
team
were.
without being the favorite. Also, I'm currently typing up the morning after promo tweet, so that's the only reason I'm staring at my phone. Oh, okay, going forward, that makes a lot more sense.
He's talking about going. Oh, um, I'll be honest with you, Pickle Rick. I don't know that I agree or disagree with it, but I'll tell you what. I don't want to agree with it if I'm a Purdue fan. I think that's a really tough spot to be in. Um, Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think Purdue. What up, boys? How's those 3 units looking, Dion? Um looking rough at the moment. Pickle Rick, you said I disagree. The Big Three have been underdogs their whole career, like Carter said. Yeah, um, that portion's not incorrect, but I see where G's coming from, though. Like, I feel like Purdue's a much better team against opponents that they are favorites against. And, when it's a bad matchup for Purdue, you never really see Purdue win. I don't know if that has anything to do with being favorites or underdogs, but I do believe that if it's a bad matchup for Purdue, I don't know that Purdue wins that game. It normally stylistically, I do believe. He said Purdue can't be the hunter; they like being the hunted. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate. I agree with it. I agree with it in a way. Like, they need that chip on their shoulder, but eventually you got to get past that, because if you're going to be the preseason number one and have all these expectations, you're definitely going to be you're definitely not going to have that. That's where, like, if you look at the great teams in every sport that have won, they create chips to put on their shoulder. Like, Dion's guys have done that numerous times. Like, you got to create stuff that, like, fires you up. Like, well, because once you've already won, like, or you have the expectation of winning, you're good, obviously. So that's what makes guys like Draymond and Steph win so much, because they find other shit to give them the chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, I think the problem is like, yeah, I think where I land on it is it's not necessarily hunter, hunted, favorite, or underdog. I think styles make fights. Purdue's really bad against like teams that are bad styles for them, like bad matchups for them. Like if you can come in and you can out physical Purdue, I feel like we've been saying that since the Edie days. Like if you can get into the guards, if you can beat up the people in the post, like if you play like hard nosed defense, it's a problem for Purdue. I think that normally winds up being the moments where they are underdogs, though. So I think I agree with the general statement, but I don't know that I think this team can solve that. Actually, I think this team is very similar to the other ones.
I agree with that. All right, cutting up sports. JK talked to me about UNC. All I get to hear is Riley on the recaps. Where are they finishing, and what's the tournament hopes? Well, they're definitely going to make the tournament. I mean, I think my goal with this group is them being a top. They should at worst be a top 5 seed, because they should be a top 15 team all year. Now, will that happen with Hubert? I don't know, but they're good now. They're going to be obviously even better. I mean, just look at how Kansas is playing. Obviously, Kansas is getting better under Self, and look at how good UNC looked against Kansas with Seth in the lineup. It's going to be different when he gets back. Where do they finish in the ACC? I mean, I'm biased. I'm not stupid. Duke's winning the ACC, but after watching Louisville lose to Arkansas the way they did, like, I think that UNC can finish ahead of Louisville. That second spot is between Louisville and UNC for sure. I just don't. It's going to be so interesting when they play, because UNC shoots a million threes and Louisville shoots a million threes. So whoever has an off night is going to lose. But I feel confident that defensively we are better than Louisville. And I think we'll finish second in the ACC. I think Louisville will be third. And if I can somehow split with Duke, that's all. I'll be happy. I mean, you never know because this is the first time in a while where UNC's had like a guy like Caleb who can be the best player on the floor any given night. Like Cam Boozer's better than Caleb Wilson, but there can be a 1-game sample size where Caleb's just off his rocker. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. That's probably not going to happen. UNC is really good though, cutting up sports. I think they're the second best team in the ACC too. I don't think that I think Caleb Wilson's going to have a 1-game sample size where he's better than Cam Boozer though. So yeah. But what about like? I mean, because you didn't bring up like Virginia Tech, you didn't bring up Virginia. Is it just Louisville, UNC, Duke for the top 3 in the ACC?
I think Virginia is really close. I'm not going to lie. They kind of, I mean, first off, Tice DeRitter is like your typical, he's like one of the 22-year-olds too. I know he's old. And they just like, I also think Ryan Odom kind of has like a stigma because everyone thinks Virginia is for some reason. I guess Tony Bennett's reputation messed up the Virginia logo so much that everyone thinks they're still this team that's going to play super, super slow and ugly and score 45 points. And that's not what they are anymore. And I don't know, man. I think Ryan Odom's done a great job. And then Virginia Tech is, I'm going to be honest, I was more sold on Virginia Tech until they went to overtime with South Carolina. And then I was like, I don't know. This could be interesting. But at the end of the day, they've got Neo. So anything's possible.
No, I mean, you're right. I think I'm with you on the whole like Louisville, North Carolina Duke thing at the top. I think there's a little bit of a gap. Cutting up sports, you're also right. It was JK and Riley doing UNC football recaps, and then they just stopped doing them.
Hey, that was over a year ago, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just stop doing them. Just basically stop doing their job that they signed up for, essentially.
Hey,
can I comment?
The only reason that I stopped was because at that point in time we were doing football recaps and basketball recaps and stuff, and I was doing so many, and UNC was terrible. So I was like, I think we can do without the UNC recaps.
22 minutes out of the work week is what it would have taken to do the previews recaps for North Carolina.
See, what you're not taking into account though is like football's on the weekend. So then a Monday comes around, and when we're doing football and basketball, I mean, that was like 40 videos on a Monday.
The extra 10 minutes for the UNC recap.
Well, when was I going to do it? I had to spend the whole time.
Saturday or Sunday.
Okay. So we're just going to act like Riley's scheduling isn't part of this too.
Hey, I'm not saying Riley's scheduling is easy to work with. Definitely not. I'm just saying Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, the James Madison one was special. Also,
chat, Pickle Rick.
Unfortunately, that is a moot argument now because the whole entire Sleepers program gave up on football recaps. I was just ahead of the curve. Do you feel me?
Chat, need to create a Sleepers Invitational NIL tourney in Dubai. I can help. I need to know how you can help with that.
Yeah, I would. Listen, I got to know the Dubai connections here.
Yeah, I want to know how you can help with that. I told you all Nebraska is a sleeper Big Ten team last week, and they're ranked this week. Special. That's a good call by you. That's a really good call by you.
Also, we're going to have to call Carter and Riley to the front of the class about their preseason Creighton love after that Nebraska loss because that's looking rough.
I'm not gonna come for Carts because I agree with Carter's. Like I thought Blake Harper was the dude too. So
yeah. I still think he might be. I think this is more like a curve of first year, like coming from Howard. I think in year 2 he might be a problem. But
Facts.
all right.
Sports. Definitely not selling Blake Harper stock.
No, never. He's only a true sophomore, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, so I mean he's fine. All right. Live lottery mock draft time. I'll sim one more time, so I'm doing it live here. I'm re-simming, not taking the Thunder as the number 1 pick. Sorry, I simply can't do that. All right, this is more like it. Who wins MVP in the CDL this year, JK? Mercules. Easy. All right. So, or Shotzi, his movement's insane. In this mock draft, number 1 pick. By the way, we're on Tankathon doing a lottery sim, so it's going to be completely random. So if you are an NBA person and you are in the chat and your team gets shafted, blame Tankathon, not me. All right, number 1 pick in this mock draft. How do you want to do this, Dion? You just want to go back and forth, like you take 1, I take 2?
Yeah, you can take odds. I'll take evens.
Perfect. Utah Jazz, number 1 pick. If this happens, we already know exactly how this goes. He's already basically on the Jazz, just an hour up the road. The Utah Jazz are going to take DeBonsa. They already have Keontae George has looked good this year. They've got a plethora of young guys. Laurie's a good piece. Like they're gonna take DeBonsa, and it's not even close because he's already if the Jazz get the number 1 pick, lottery rigged is even more confirmed because he is such a Utah guy. All right. Number 2 in the sim, Dion, your pick. Oh, Jesus, if this happens, man. The Dallas Mavericks.
Whoa. Whoa. I think AJ goes 1 no matter who the pick is, to be honest with you. I honestly believe AJ separated himself a little bit from the rest of the pack this year. If the Mavs have this pick, my assumption is they've traded AD, but I still think they have Kyrie on the roster just because I don't think they're going to be able to move Kyrie. I do believe if they get the number 1 pick, they subsequently move Kyrie in the offseason, though. And I think this pick's Darren Peterson. I like the Darren Peterson Cooper Flag fit really well. I think there's a world here, though, where the Mavs would look to trade back because they kind of already have their superstar. And if you trade back and you get multiple picks or you get other stuff and you can kind of bring in a Michael Brown, Kingston Fleming's type of fit or of a number 2 option, I don't hate that for the Mavs, but I do think it's Darren Peterson.
Yeah, I would agree, especially with Kyrie coming off the ACL stuff and everything. It would make a lot of sense. All right, number 3, the Charlotte Hornets. This is a shoe-in Cam Boozer pick here. Duke guy, stays in North Carolina, goes to Charlotte, so you have that aspect. Then, on top of that, if the Hornets actually develop a brain and move off of LaMelo like they should, then you're basically putting together a young core of Kahn, Boozer, Brandon Miller. They actually have a good young foundation. I think that's an absolute no-brainer for the Hornets. And if the Hornets get Boozer at 3, their fans, I'm sure, will be ecstatic because, like we said yesterday, me and Dion are both we're not necessarily sure about Cam Boozer as number 1 guy, but he'll be on a team that has a really good foundation. So I think it's a good fit. Number 4, Dion, the Wizards.
Yeah, this is where things get interesting. After the 1 through 3, Cam for Charlotte, I love, by the way. I think Kahn needs adults in the room. I think Cam Boozer's an adult. Obviously, Con and Cam didn't necessarily play together, but I mean, they both have that like Duke background.
And Sion, the Charlotte Blue Devils, about to go crazy.
Yeah, he probably won't be on the roster by that point. Who did you say got the 4th pick?
The Wizards.
I think with the Wizards, you just take the high ceiling. I think Nate Ament comes off the board at 4.
Yeah, they're so young and they've got like this weird culmination. I get that completely.
I don't really think the Wizards have like a direction per se at the moment. And because of that, I think it makes the most sense. You just take not necessarily best player available, but like highest ceiling. I think Caleb Wilson's the best player left, but Nate Ament gives you the highest likelihood of getting a superstar, though.
Yeah. Number 5, the Hawks by way of the Pelicans because they traded an unprotected first for Derek Queen, which is still one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. Not that Derek Queen's not nice, but an unprotected first is just crazy.
Yeah.
All right. The Hawks at 5. This is interesting because they obviously have Trey and Jalen Johnson. And okay, I did not Adam Silver the Pacers, Rick. Blame Tankathon. This is such a tough one because they have I feel like they don't really need the guard because of Trey. So I don't think it's Michael or Kingston. I don't think you can ever have too many talented wings. So I'm going to say they take Caleb Wilson off the board and just pair him with the whole Jalen Johnson, Alexander Walker, Trey Young, Kristaps vision thing, and they just add length and a talented wing. I think that's really the only thing that makes sense.
What team was that?
The Hawks.
And you got them taking Caleb Wilson?
Yeah, just because, like, I know Trey's been hurt this year, but I can't. There's been so many trade rumors. I feel like they're not going to actually do it, which means they wouldn't take Michael. I mean, I guess they could take Kingston technically.
No, I think Caleb makes the most sense, but I think the most likely scenario if the Hawks, if that Pelicans pick falls out the top 3, I think they move it, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Like they're backing on it being a top 3 pick. They probably package it with like, I don't know what they package it with depth wise or whatever, but they're going to try to get something out of it.
You probably add it to like a Porzingis contract and try to get AD, I would assume.
Yeah, you probably just try to stack it. Like it's because they have some actual tradable assets now, so it's very interesting. All right, Dion. Then we get the FBI investigation. I'm sorry, Pickle Rick, you're going to be even worse off after this. The Thunder at 6 by way of the Clippers.
The Thunder for sure would move off the pick for what it's worth. I think the Thunder. I don't think the Thunder would actually pick in this spot. However, if they're going to, I think this is a no-brainer Koa Pete spot. I think you take a guy with insane upside in Koa. Within his upside, you also get like Chet moves to the 5. You move off Hardenstein. You have the J-Dub, Koa, Chet front court to go with SGA. I think you can really play anybody at the 2. I thought about this as like a home for Braylon Mullins, but I don't think Braylon Mullins plays enough defense to play next to SGA, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think like that would, if they don't trade it, Koa Pete's like the seamless fit because it's like you said, adult in the room. Koa Pete, very adult, and also like they already have the plethora of guards who defend and do all this stuff. Just add a wing to come. I mean, he's basically just a million times better version of Kenrich Williams. So I mean, you might as well just add him to the team. God, dude, Rick, you guys really did get absolutely cooked in this simulation. Number 7, the Sacramento Kings.
If the Kings fall this far, that is an absolute travesty for them.
Yeah.
Gonna be honest. This is where the draft starts to get not very good to me. Michael's still on the board, right?
Yes.
I think they go Michael.
I feel
They
like they
need a point
have
guard.
to,
Yeah, they have to. By the way, I don't hate
especially
the
when
Thunder.
you're.
I like watching them play. I just hate the basketball gods because they hate me as well. What's good, Nick, by the way?
I mean, they have to. Like, you can't when Schroeder and Westbrook is your backcourt. Also, your guy Keon Ellis, with the Kings being injured last night, played a smooth 13 minutes.
Yeah, and the defense actually looked good for a second.
It's
Like,
honestly mind-boggling what they do. I honestly don't want them to get Michael because I actually like Michael and I don't want to see him get his career thrown away by the Kings, but I agree they take him. All right, Rick, this one's for you. Number 8, the Indiana Pacers. This is interesting because you guys aren't actually this bad. You're just you played the first half of the season not only with no Halliburton but with no Nimhard. Like Neesmith missed a lot of time. Mather had missed. Like you guys have just been destroyed this year. Um, so I don't. This is another spot where like kind of Dion's been saying for other teams, there's a world in which you guys just trade off this pick depending on who's available, because I mean if you look at what's available right now, man, like they need front court and like all the good front court pieces are pretty much gone, so I think it makes more sense for them to trade back and get like a Steinbach or something.
I think the Pacers is a great Braylon Mullins spot.
Yeah, I see that too. The only worry I have with that is like I don't like I would hate if Braylon ends up in a situation where he's got to compete with like a million guards just to get minutes.
I mean this with all due respect to everybody in this draft outside the top 3, and I'm not trying to take away from your point either, JK. I'm sorry. That's everybody though. It just is what it is. Like the NBA is so talented at the moment. I don't think there's a player or a draft position outside of like 3 or 4 dudes in this draft where it's like he doesn't have to compete with anybody. You know?
Yeah, I just hate it because they have like when Halliburton's back, like Halliburton, Nimhard, Matherin. I guess Neesmith's technically a 3 now. McConnell off the bench. Like I see a world where if they could take Mullins just because the value's so good, they could trade back. There's also a world where they do something really, really stupid and like reach for Chris Sinak or something, and that would be interesting.
I mean, I think they'd move off of somebody. Matherin's going to be a restricted free agent himself.
Also, I'm not gonna lie, like if you're moving off of any of the guards, it's got to be Matherin because he plays the least amount of defense, and that man ain't swinging that rock.
Yeah, and I don't think they want to pay him necessarily, but
No.
also like none of those dudes you named, like if I'm a front office, would stop me from picking a guard. And that's kind of like it's up to Braylon Mullins to be better than those guys. And I think that's just the unfortunate situation. Like we want to find the perfect landing spot for all these prospects. It's never going to happen. Most of these dudes are going to wind up lost in the shuffle. Most of these dudes, unfortunately, like aren't on the level that like NBA guys are, and that's how you wind up with half the league playing 10 years, another half of the league in and out of the league for forever. There's only like a select few that like establish themselves as like I'm in the rotation no matter what.
Yeah, and also to that same point, if Ben Shepherd's getting minutes on the Pacers, they can find a few. They can find a few for Braylon Mullins.
If he earns them, that's the thing. Like if he earns them, like I think Braylon Mullins' ceiling would be better than all those guys, which is why you would want to take a Braylon Mullins because you're looking at it through the lens of like Hallie, Braylon, Siakam. That's our big 3. Let's fill in the holes around them. So I think it makes sense for them to take Braylon Mullins. And if he winds up not working out in that lens, that's just unfortunate. But I do think it's the best pick for the Pacers.
I agree. All right. Number 9. Not sure how I kind of like it. We did a little mid switch, and now I'm on evens and you're on odds, so we ride. Number 9, Dion. This is a dumpster fire. I don't know what this team's going to do. The Nets.
This is your pick. I just took Mullins to the Pacers.
The Nets, dude. You want after last year's draft? I mean, you would think that the Nets would maybe try to like if they do get a non-top 4 pick, they probably try to move it, but also they took 5 first-rounders last year, so I doubt that they're going to try to move it. I actually think that this is a team that probably takes Kingston Flemings.
The Nets?
Yeah, because, like, I mean, you've got Cam Thomas. Outside of that, like, Yegor is 6'8". Yeah, he's a guard, but he could play the 3. Like, other than that, not a lot of guards. I mean, they're playing Terrence Mann like 35 minutes a game. I think there's plenty of room for guards over there. The Ben Saroff thing isn't really working out. I think this is a Kingston Flemings team, no doubt.
I can see that. Dion. I feel like the Nets could take anybody.
Yeah, just like last year. The 5 first-rounders was crazy. Yeah. Also, shout out Greg. Danny Wolf kind of been cooking since he's been called up. The Blazers at 10.
Tunde.
I like that.
I think this is a Tunde landing spot. I don't know that I fully believe in Kumara or Tumani or whatever his name is as like a long-term spot. Shaden, I like. I think if you squint hard enough, you can see the vision behind Shaden Sharp. Scoot's been up and down. I don't think any of the guard spots are really like that solidified. You have Klingon at center, and you're kind of like floating everything else around. You don't really have a coach. I think their coach is in like prison. I think Tunde makes some sense here.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially just because like they need wing help, man. They just bad. The Bulls at 11. Oh man, this. So, if I'm the Bulls, to me, I am no doubt taking Darius Acuff with this pick because Kobe White is like a fine, complimentary piece of a guard, but he's not a star. Then you look at the rest of what they've done, what they've drafted. Matas, they keep holding on to Vucevic. Like, I think Acuff, also the whole Acuff in a Bulls jersey just feels right. I don't know why, he just does.
Nah, I can see that. I like Acuff. I'm surprised I let him get this far, to be honest with you.
I know. I can't believe he fell out of our top 10. Acuff is that guy. Number 12, the Bucks. Now, this could get real wicked if they trade Giannis.
They're going to trade Giannis. I think they'll wind up picking a lot higher than this. I think if you do this, you take the guy with the biggest upside, the biggest ceiling. I think that's JQ. I think JQ's a guy that would have been a top 5 pick last year. I think he's going to fall because of the ACL stuff. Who knows when he plays specifically? When he plays, how long he plays. There's a lot of question marks behind like what his season's going to look like. But I think JQ is the type of guy, like if you take in this spot, it gives you a defensive anchor, and then you tank next year and you're able to get your superstar.
Yeah. No, I see that 100%. All right, last 2 picks of the lottery. The Grizzlies at 13. Edie's been good. Jaren Jackson, when he's healthy, has been good. Cedric Coward has been a good surprise. I think at this point, if you're the Grizzlies, you got to take a guard because all the job being unreliable stuff. I think the Grizzlies. I'm stuck between two guys. I think they go LeBaron and Philon here.
Really?
I just think it's either him or Malik Thomas. I think they're going to take the best guard available, or they. It also could be Dash Daniels, but not a big Dash Daniels guy.
Oh,
My
bad.
I
Go
don't
ahead.
know. I just think they're going to take the best guard available, or trade
Yeah,
it.
I could see Philon. I mean, Philon's jumping up draft boards. My thing with Philon, he's going to be 21 by the time the draft happens. I don't love that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he is a little older. It could also be Malik Thomas. I actually think Malik Thomas is good too. I don't know.
I don't hate Malik Thomas, to be honest. I like Kareem Lopez for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I could see if they do take like Lopez or Dash Daniels, I get it.
Yeah.
Like the upside, it makes sense, especially in that spot.
And then honestly, and Purdue fans probably don't want to hear this, Hans Steinbach, and then you kind of move Edie to a different type of role. I really, really like Edie in these spot moments. I know he's playing a lot, but it's very calculated, the spots in which he's playing a lot in at the moment. And we'll see how it progresses throughout the season. He might just play 35 minutes the rest of the year. As he showed at Purdue, he clearly has the capability to do so. But I love Edie in the spots. Like I said this with G when we were discussing Edie going for like 30 something. I think every great team needs a young player like Edie who can beat the Pelicans and your stars can sit out. Like that's exactly what Kuminga is supposed to be for the Warriors, right? Like it's what Derek White is for the Celtics, at least when the Celtics are healthy. Cade needs that badly in Detroit at the moment. That's what Ivy's supposed to be. But if you look at like the Lakers, Luka doesn't need to play against the Wizards. Reeves will go get them one against the Wizards, and that's your third star. I'm not saying I think Edie's like the third head of like a three-headed monster type of thing, but I do like Edie in these spots where it's like, hey, we don't have to play our best guys. Edie will go get us one. But I think there's another level you can get to from Edie that makes you like a contender, and I do think Hans Steinbach is that. But I don't know. Like, I don't know that they're close enough to where you can pull the trigger on that one.
Yeah. I think there's a very, very high chance that Steinbach is 1,000,000% a lottery pick. He's like actually really good.
I mean, Steinbach, Jaren Jackson Jr. frontcourt is sick. I don't know if you do that with, I agree with B. Kelly. I think he's a top 10 lock. Although I didn't pick him in the top 10. But
I'll say this. Steinbach, if it falls and they don't trade it, Steinbach are like reeks of an Oklahoma City Thunder player.
That Steinbach would have been a good pick in that spot, actually, instead of Koa, because he could straight up take like hand in hand Hartenstein's minutes.
Exactly. Perfect.
Chet plays defense. So like it makes up for his lack of rim protection. That's why I like him with the Grizzlies for what it's worth. Same idea with Jaren. Honestly, actually, I kind of want to switch that pick now.
I like it. All right. You get the last pick of the lottery, number 14. The rich get richer. The 14th pick in this simulation is the Spurs by way of the Hawks.
I like this spot for, I mean, you didn't take him, so I'm going to take Hans Steinbach here. But like, I think, I don't believe in Carter Bryant being like a starter ever. I think he could be a high energy defense guy off the bench. I don't believe in Stephon Castle for what it's worth either. I think what you do is you take a Hans Steinbach, and that allows you to move Stephon Castle with like Vassell and Keldon Johnson to go get somebody else too, because Steinbach can fill in right at the 4 next to Wemby. You have Fox at the 1, who I also don't necessarily believe in, to be honest. There's a lot of dudes on this Spurs roster I don't love. I love Harrison Barnes at the 3 for them. But if you go Fox, Barnes, Steinbach, Wemby, and then I think you take Stephon Castle and Devin Vassell and you go make a big move. Or To be honest, what I would do, flip Fox for Trae Young. I think the Hawks do that. And then I think that allows you to keep Stephon Castle too, because the shooting doesn't matter as much.
Yeah. No, I can see that. And then Dylan Harper's also been absolutely hooping. So I think he had like 22 last night.
That's what I'm saying. You got to create room for Dylan Harper at some point too.
Yeah.
I think Stephon Castle winds up the odd man out here. Castle is Jimmy Butler 2.0. I'm high on him, but it'll take time to develop. I think they're two completely different players.
I don't know. I don't know if Castle will ever be able to score like Jimmy.
I was going to say the way Jimmy scores is methodical. It's through the post, a lot of pump fakes. In his prime, it was more so athleticism. I don't think Stephon Castle has the size to be Jimmy Butler 2.0.
Yeah. And that's not to say Stephon Castle can't be really good. I just think they're very different. Also, Pickle Rick, Phillip Rivers working out for the Colts at 44. Honestly, I get it. You guys are in a horrible situation right now. The Daniel Jones thing happens. Anthony Richardson has one eye. Riley Leonard gets hurt the first time he's asked to play. I mean, what else are you going to do at this point in the year? There's not really many options out there.
Is Castle really only half an inch shorter than Jimmy Butler?
Yeah, he's tall.
Really?
Also, I feel that as a Bulls fan, but I also do think that was more because of the teams Jimmy was on than his talent. Some of those Bulls teams were really good, but towards the end, they did become his teams a little bit.
I agree with that. I didn't realize Stephon Castle was that tall.
Yeah, he's like 6'5". He's tall as heck.
Maybe he can be the next Jimmy Butler then.
I mean, I will say he has that Jimmy Butler type motor to him. I get that.
I get why they don't want to move off Castle. Don't get me wrong. I just think it's the right decision to move off him. But I can understand why you wouldn't want to move off a dude like that. If he ever develops a jump shot, he's one of the best players in the league. That just feels far-fetched to me. Phillip Rivers working out for the Colts. You got to do something. So, I think JK said it best. What else are you supposed to do? I would probably reach out to Derek Carr, too. Who are some of these old QBs that would love, one last run at a Super Bowl type of thing? You got to do something. Rivers, Derek Carr. There's got to be somebody else that, recently retired that would come out. I mean, Cat. I don't know. You gotta give somebody a shot here. I don't know, man. Somebody I'll tell you what. Riley Leonard isn't winning a playoff game, and Anthony Richardson isn't winning a playoff game. I would go into that game thinking way more confidently in the Colts' chances with Phillip Rivers or Derek Carr. So I mean, yeah. There's somebody else, right? Who? What's the?
I'm trying to think of guys who aren't in the league. It's hard. There's not many. There's not many good ones.
Everybody has jobs at the moment somehow.
Yeah.
Romo?
Just get Eli to come off the Taylor.
Heineke. I rock with that idea, Pickle.
Yeah.
I rock with that idea. Heineke for sure.
Hey, Commanders legend. All right, last thing before we get out of here, because Tom Brady, unfortunately, he'd have to sell his stake in the Raiders for that.
He would.
43 minutes, so we're over, but I haven't gotten a video yet, so it's fine. Florida UConn, Pickle Rick asks. UConn at MSG, which is basically a home game. Give me UConn by 7.
Yeah, I think UConn runs away with this one. I don't think I've been saying it all offseason. I don't think Florida's very good. I just don't.
Yeah.
Florida's done nothing to make me feel. Is Terrace Reed playing?
That's a good question. Let me see if I can get an update here.
I feel like Terrace Reed chooses to play when he wants to and when he doesn't want to play.
He basically load manages.
Yeah, but he does it to himself.
He is a game time decision.
I mean, I'd probably want to wait to see if he's playing or not. but off the top of my head, I think I like UConn in this one. Florida guard play leaves a lot to be desired. Try to tell everybody it ain't Princeton no more.
The
Buddy from
Boogie
Princeton.
Flan game against Duke is the first time I've seen their backcourt like actually do something, and it wasn't even the whole backcourt. It was just Boogie being Boogie.
I mean, Boogie's good for a game here and there. Like
Yeah.
he was at Arkansas, but like my thing with Boogie is like Florida brought him and Xavier Lee in. One of them's from Princeton, respectfully, and the other one wasn't gonna play on Arkansas. Like if Boogie Flan is at Arkansas, who does he play over?
He maybe gets spot minutes over DJ, and that's very who knows.
DJ's minutes are dwindling in its own right. So
Exactly.
it's like, you split minutes with DJ, that leaves you maybe like 12 or 13 minutes. That is the guy Florida was like, we're going to go back to back. We got Boogie Flan, the guy who was barely going to play on the Arkansas team, who I don't think is like one of the best teams in the country in its own right. Like I could understand if Boogie Flan was at Purdue and it's like, okay, now we have Boogie. He wasn't going to play at Purdue. Sure. They have Braden Smith, they have Fletcher Lawyer, but like, I don't know. Arkansas is not good enough to where we want Arkansas's leftovers.
Hey, Boogie Flan ran to Florida for a reason, and it wasn't to win a national championship, and it wasn't for money.
For
he knew he wasn't going to play over either one of those cards.
I think he got paid handsomely to go to Florida, though.
Oh, I mean, he definitely got paid, but I don't think that was like the end all be all.
No, he hit the portal because he wasn't going to. Well, really, what he wanted to do was go to the NBA, and they told him.
Smart decision maker, by the way, because Acuff is a problem.
See, I think he's a bad decision maker. I think him and Tahad should have just went to the NBA.
Yeah, probably.
I think if it didn't happen in last year's draft, and I mean this with all due respect to certain dudes, Danny Wolf, and like what's the kid, the other kid the Nets have, the guard,
Saraf,
stinks, man. If them dudes are going first round, if you can't go first round over those dudes, Nick Clifford, like you can't go first round over some of these dudes. I don't think it's ever going to happen for Boogie.
Yeah, especially not in this draft.
I mean, like that was. Oops, almost left the thing. Hold on. Like that was the draft to do. Listen to some of these names that went in the back end of this first round: Ben Saraf, Danny Wolf, Hugo Gonzalez, Liam McNeely, Yannick Koenig Niederhauser, Nick Clifford, Nolan Traore, Walter Clayton went 18, respectfully. Like Joan Behringer, who they tried to tell me was like Rudy Gobert just because he's also from France. Like, I mean, Noah SNJ, like Cedric Coward's hooping, but are you like Cedric Coward, man? Like that's who we couldn't beat out. Like, and then you look at the second round. I don't think anybody in the second round is playing a legitimate role on it. Oh, wait, I can't say that because Will Richard's playing.
Will Richard?
Yeah.
I mean, Sion James is, but like the Hornets are bad. So
yeah, I think Will Richard and Sion James are the only like dudes in the second round to be playing legitimate roles on their rosters at the moment. I really like Will Richard. You can't beat Will Richard out. I don't know what to tell you. All you have to do is hustle, like play defense, and actually want to try. So I just don't think it's ever going to happen.
Yeah, I mean that's a rough end to the draft. But listen, we blessed you guys today with an extra long episode. So honestly, you need to thank Cart and Greg because the only reason we went this long is because still waiting on the first batch of shorts, but I'm sure they're going to come in any moment. And for that reason, we got to give you guys an extremely long episode today. And it was fun, as always. Shout out all the chatters, man. You guys are what make this so fun. Tomorrow, back at 10 a.m., Dion. Supposed to be Riley. Probably a game time decision. Don't really know yet what Riley's on for tomorrow. But you guys are just going to have to tune in and see who's on the other side of the camera. G probably still trying to set up Murph with Leon. Shaking my head. Insane comment.
Did that really happen? What?
Insane comment from Pickle
That's
Rick there.
insane.
Just wild. But all right. We will see you guys tomorrow. Well, Dion will. Like I said, who knows with me. And yeah, be back to recap a night full of a few decent games. See you then.
That's the